I feel like I'm in a dreamlike trance, almost like I can't stop myself from staring at him.
TLC is such a tease. They just give us the smallest bits of Debbie and Usama. Like, all we've seen them do so far is meet at the airport now. And honestly, it was fantastic. But I want more. Like, what are they doing? They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. And I can't take it. I need to see what happens. Well, welcome to Happily Ever Reality. I am so glad you're here. I'm a huge fan of 90 Day Fiance the other way. So I'm going to be talking about episode 5 that we just saw this last week. I really wanted to see more of Debbie and Usama in this episode, but it is what it is. They met at the airport. It was definitely a connection. They're such characters. They're so unique. And I can't help it. I just sort of think this is one of those times you might overlook the age difference because it might really be love, guys. This might be it for the two of them. You know, Debbie was in a trance and she said something about him being strange and beautiful, or strange beautiful. I don't know. He said it back to her. It was different, but I liked watching it. And who knows? You never know what's going to work for people and what's not. So maybe they're just going to work out and it's going to be great. I just know that TLC is stringing me along, though. They know we want to see what happens between the two of them, and they're giving us just the smallest bits in this episode. The other couple I felt like, you know, everything was going really good for and there wasn't too much to say about was Isabelle and Gabe. I almost feel like they've got it together. They're a good couple. I learned more about like surgeries and transitioning in this episode, but otherwise they seem to have it all together. It's all working out for them. But I always have to remind myself, this couple is an established couple. They already had an apartment together when this show started. So they have kind of gotten past the point of like learning all the little new things about each other. They're like a solid couple at this point. We're just watching him adjust to living there. So I don't know. I like them. I really do like them. But there's not a lot to say about them. It is, though, I think it's good that they're on there. It's good to have a couple that seems to be on the same level and wanting the same things, and they know each other, because the other couples are all over the place. Let's move on to a couple that does have more going on, and that is Jamie and Chris. You guys, I cannot put my finger on it, but there's just something unusual about Chris and all of her stories. Now, she does have medical conditions and she's had injuries, and those things are beyond her control, but come on, like multiple car wrecks, rare motorcycle being stolen out of her garage, a house fire. It's just a lot. It's a lot to unpack. And have you ever had those people, you meet them and you realize they have all these things happening in their lives, but like it feels like they sort of either attract the drama or they attract the people who bring the drama? I feel like Chris is going to fall into one of those categories. She's either doing it and involved in it, or she's attracting the people that are. Something just isn't right. I don't even know. Maybe I've got it all wrong. It just feels like a lot. I really feel for Jamie. And when, you know, Chris tells her that she might have to go home for a few days because she might have to go into court and testify about the rare motorcycle being stolen. And you can tell that Jamie is really disappointed, which kind of surprised me. There was a part of me that was like, as Chris was saying, I might have to go home, I thought, oh, maybe Jamie's a little bit relieved. Like she can catch her breath and kind of figure out what she's thinking about all of this. But Jamie got really emotional. Like Jamie was a mess. She was super sad. Jamie actually calls Chris unpredictable. And to be honest, I think that's probably the best word for it. You just don't know what you're going to get from her. They decide they want to go to a flea market and they want to do some shopping. And on the way there, the pain that Chris has been talking about becomes unbearable. She says she cannot go shopping. Jamie finds a doctor to come to their apartment and see her, and Chris gets some sort of muscle relaxer. So I'm guessing that might have helped, but you can tell that Jamie is shaken up. Like this is not something Jamie is used to dealing with, but she is genuinely sad for Chris, for her being in all of this pain. Jamie seems to really care about Chris and really like her, but I'm about 100% positive that Jamie had no idea that she was getting into all of this. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. I do think they're one of the more interesting couples to watch this season. Let's move on to Danielle and Johan. If you guys don't know this, Danielle kind of drives me crazy. I don't use the word problematic very often. I mean, hardly at all. I feel like it's a word that gets used a lot, but it's just not a word I kind of jumped on using. I think Danielle is problematic. I really dislike how she treats Johan like he's a child because he hasn't had the same life experiences that she has. I understand she wants to give him advice, but she's not very nice about it. I also think she expects him to go along with whatever she wants because she does have the money. She's got the purse strings and he doesn't. So what control does he have in this situation? None at all. None at all. I don't like the way she treats him. I also think that she gets mad at him about lying about a pregnancy that happened years before they met. And she was lying to him about where they were going to live, which is something that is going to affect their relationship and their lives right now. But she doesn't seem to see that. So in this episode, what we actually see is them reconciling. He comes over to the apartment because he had decided he wasn't staying with her. You know, after the last episode, he was staying at his parents' house. He wasn't interested in spending the night in their apartment. So, or in their hotel. I don't think they got an apartment yet. It's their hotel. So he comes back over to the hotel and stays with her, and she explains why it matters to her. And she has a reason. She says, you know, she is thinking about herself having a child and she wants to know the whole story. She wants to know everything about his previous experiences with pregnancy. And she feels like it was very dishonest and very hurtful. And even though I do understand her point, like she wanted to know the whole thing, I just feel like she's not realizing how dishonest she is. And it bothers me. I can't get back from the way I felt when I watched her in episode 1 and episode 2 of this show. If you guys don't know this, she was on another one of the 90 Day Fiance franchises. Like something like Love in Paradise. I think that was what it was called. I watched some of it. I wasn't really that interested in all of the couples, so I kind of just, it fizzled. I didn't keep watching it. But if there's something from there that she has done, I would love to hear about it because I'm going to guess that if I were to go back and watch all of those, I would see her behaving badly. So I'm not a big fan of Danielle, but let me know what you guys think about that. Do you think I'm being, you know, am I misjudging them? Is it that big of a deal that Johan didn't tell her about the pregnancy and how it ended? Let me know what you guys think. So let's move on to Jen and Rishi. I am really starting to like Jen. In the beginning, I was like, not sure, but more and more I'm liking her. In this episode, we see her go to a fitness class that her friend is the instructor of. And they get together after class and her friend tells her, you know, arranged marriages are still a big thing here. You need to ask Rishi about this. You need to be assertive and say how you feel. And Jen decides to take his advice. When Rishi comes over next time, she is determined to talk to him more about it. While he's there, he teaches her about this Hindu holiday where you fly kites, and it's kind of cool. You fly kites from your roof, and so do your neighbors, and you can like cut people off. You can like cut their kite off so it goes down, I guess. I don't know. It looked kind of cool. But she is determined to talk to him. So when they're done flying the kites, she just confronts him, and of course, he says, you know, I didn't tell you my mom was doing this because I thought I would lose you. He thought he would never see her again. So, I mean, I think he needs to really be upfront with what's going on now. But there is some part of me that can understand him not telling her when she was in America and he was in India and they couldn't travel to see each other. Maybe he really thought, I'm going to wait until we're in person to talk about this. It doesn't seem like he's interested in an arranged marriage. Like, I don't get that feeling at all. I think he's trying to be careful with how he introduces her because I think he's worried his mom is going to cause a big issue. Like, she's going to think this is a huge problem that she's American. So I do think he's got a strategy. I think he's thinking through how to get Jen in with his family. So I think Jen's going to have to be patient, but I also think that Rishi needs to realize he doesn't have forever. He's going to have to really work hard at getting her in with them. But I don't know. Just seeing Jenny and Sumit, It didn't work out in the end. His mother never came around. She's not interested in having a relationship with Jenny. So I'm going to be interested in what the outcome is for the two of them and his family. Last but definitely not least, Nicole and Mahmoud. You guys, this is a train wreck. There is no way they are going to make it. Like, none. I don't see this working out at all. But I have to tell you, it's the couple that I am most interested in watching because I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. Why did she go back to Egypt? She is clearly unhappy. I think she regrets this whole thing. You can care about somebody. That doesn't mean you should go marry them and live in the country they live in and convert to their religion. And she is old enough to know that. She is almost 40 years old. You know better. You know better, Nicole, than to do what you did here. But she is there in Egypt and they're still fighting about her clothes. Like, they're still fighting about it. She is not covered up the way he would like. And here's my thing. I know I'm American. My instinct would be like, she can wear whatever she wants to wear. But you know what? That's not their culture. That's not their culture. She also converted to a different religion that has different beliefs about women and how they dress. She didn't think about it, and now there are consequences. And, it's one of those, like, you made your bed, now you have to lie in it, or you need to sell the bed and move on. This bed is not going to work out. Like, you made this bed, and it's really going to be bad. You're going to have the worst sleep of your life. So you may just want to sell this bed and go make a new bed back in LA. Go, girl, because this is not working and it's not going to work. And you know what? I don't even blame Mahmoud for this. I really struggle with his name. I don't blame him one bit. This is his culture. This is the country he lives in. This has to do with his faith. I don't think he's a bad person. I don't even see him really being like aggressive or mean to her. Like, your instinct is to want to have this story where she is being oppressed and he is a bad guy, but that's not it here. Not to me, at least when I'm watching it. I see someone that this is their culture. This involves their faith. He's serious about it. He thought she understood it. It's clear she doesn't. Why is she back there? Why did she go back? I don't know who I should be upset with. Like, the man trying to tell the woman what to do, or the woman who went to the country where it's obvious that they do that and then is acting like, she's sad and doesn't know how she's going to get by here with her husband. You know what? You're not going to, Nicole. It's not going to work. I'd be really, really surprised if this is something that works out for you. So it's okay to just go home. But here she is in Egypt going against all her instincts, and we get to watch it on 90 Day Fiance. So obviously, I have a lot of feelings about it. And again, I don't blame either one of them. Well, I do sort of blame one of them, but I don't. It's so confusing, guys. Let me know what you think. I definitely love your comments. Go ahead and leave them below. If you haven't already, click like and subscribe. Come back to Happily Ever Reality. That's all, and I'll see you next week if you want to talk more about 90 Day Fiance the other way.